The Senate hearings for Elena Kagan are now effectively over. For the past several days, the Republicans have tried, in their words, to grill Supreme Court nominee Elena Kagan. And I have to tell you, my friends, it has been a pitiful sight. The Republicans have barely been able to lay a glove on her. And not only have they failed to lay a glove on her, but Kagan herself has literally danced around every question like the shyster lawyer that she is. Her answers have been evasive, they have been hollow, they have been vapid. Frankly, they have been utterly unbecoming of somebody who wants to sit on the highest court in the land. And let's be clear about this, members of the Kuhner country. There is no getting around this. Elena Kagan is to the left of the establishment liberal class in America. She is a radical socialist. She is in the mold not even of Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg or Stephen Breyer, but rather of the wise Latina Justice Sonia Sotomayor. She believes in affirmative action. She believes and supports partial birth abortion. She believes that the military should openly allow gays to serve. She believes in abortion on demand. She supports homosexual marriage. She wants to give terrorists full legal and constitutional rights. In other words, she is nothing more than a rubber stamp, an apparatchik for President Obama, for the wannabe dictator to put one of his own cronies, one of his own henchwomen. To me, frankly, she looks more... I'll be very frank with you. I'm not saying this to be insulting or put-downish. I'm being literally in the confessional with you. To me, she looks more like a man than a woman. I swear to you. I swear to you. To me, she's like a dwarf. She looks like a little liberal freak. You want to know the truth? I'll be very frank with you. Everything about her, her creepy answers, her lies. When she said yesterday that she vows and promises to be an utterly impartial justice. Are you kidding me? If I was a Republican senator, I'd say, excuse me, Mrs. Solicitor General, with all due respect, you are a liar. And you know you're a liar. You're not going to be objective. You're not there to be impartial. By all of your past writings, by all of your past emails, by all of your past statements, you are a leftist ideologue. You are there to be an advocate. You are a liberal activist. You're not there to be impartial. You are there to impose your leftist socialist worldview upon the Constitution. Tell me, Mrs. Solicitor General, where does it say in the Constitution of the United States that a woman has a, quote, right to privacy, meaning a right to an abortion? Tell me, where is it? Where does it say in the Constitution that gays have a fundamental right to serve in the military? Where does it say that? Maybe I missed that section. Could you lay it out for me? Where does it say that homosexuals have the right to get married? I missed that. Could you please show it to me? Where does it say that the federal government has the right not only to control health care, but to mandate every American to purchase it? Tell me, where is that delineated in the Constitution? Did I somehow misread that? Because I never understood. I never saw George Washington and James Madison and Thomas Jefferson and John Jay and Alexander Hamilton and all of our founding fathers as postmodern socialists. I never read them that way. Maybe you and the academic left do, but I don't. I see them as constitutionalists and as conservative nationalists. That's what they were. Christian patriots who believed in limited government. That it was clear. Their words, we can go on for thousands of pages. That's what they meant. That's what they wrote. That was what's in the Federalist Papers. That's what's in every major document at the time. The evidence is overwhelming. So what does Kagan say? There she is, right there in front of that hearings, right there in front of the Senate. And she lays it out for us. Yes, there were some things that were very explicit in the Constitution. For example, a senator has to be 30 years old or older. The cutoff point is 30. That's the floor. You have to be at least 30 years of age. That the Constitution was specific on. But other many things, the right to own guns, freedom of speech, whether we need to redistribute speech, whether the government can ban certain books or political pamphlets near an election if they criticize, let's say, the dear leader, whether a woman has a right to an abortion, whether homosexuals have the right to get married. No, that's very general. No. And you see, the Constitution is a living, breathing document. See, it's not a dead document. No, it's not just a piece of paper, a piece of parchment clearly laid out. It's a human being. The fetus is not a human being, but the Constitution's a human being. It lives. It breathes. It grows as we liberals want it to grow. It's like a piece of clay that we mold, but it's a living, breathing piece of clay. So she's saying, in her own words, she's given the game away. Even though the Republicans were so pathetic in their questioning of her, so weak, so timid, so weaselly, she lays it out. She lays out her liberal philosophy. It is meant to be interpreted over time and applied to new situations and new factual contexts. In other words, the Constitution is whatever the hell we leftists think it is. Here is Elena Kagan, the dwarf, in her own words. Ray, roll clip 1, baby.
And they wrote a Constitution, I think, that has all kinds of provisions in it.
Yeah.
So there are some that are very specific provisions. It just says what you're supposed to do and how things are supposed to work. It says to be a senator, you have to be 30 years old.
Yeah.
And that just means you have to be 30 years old.
Yeah.
But there are a range of other kinds of provisions in the Constitution of a much more general kind.
Yeah.
And those provisions were meant to be interpreted over time, to be applied to new situations and new factual contexts.
Sure. Just apply it and interpret it as you wish. Hey, society changes, the Constitution has to change. Whatever we liberals want. And you want to see the height of her mendacity? Even with all of the weaknesses of the Republicans, no matter how pathetic their performance was, literally, didn't lay a glove on her. You can't get a bigger target than Elena Kagan. I mean that figuratively, because she's quite a small. She's a bit chubby, but she's a little small. She's a little short. So you got to. I'll be honest with you. That's, I mean, it's a figurative expression. Ideologically, you can't have a bigger target than Elena Kagan. All right? It's she may be a dwarf in size, but ideologically, believe me, she's a huge leftist. I mean, I don't know where to start picking her apart. She worked under Obama. She's their top lawyer. She worked under Clinton. She's been a lifelong Democrat. As the dean of Harvard Law School, she prevented military recruiters from coming on campus when we were engaged in not one but two wars. As our men and women were dying in Afghanistan and Iraq, she prevented military recruiters from coming on campus, stabbing our military in the back. And so Lindsey Graham says, well, hold on now. You've been a lifelong Democrat. You've been an open partisan Democrat. To say your political views are progressive, are they not progressive? Even the dwarf had to admit, yes, I am a progressive. Ray, roll clip 1, baby.
I'd be shocked if President Obama did not pick someone that shared his general view of the law and life. You're largely a progressive in the mold of Obama himself. Do you agree with that?
Senator Graham, in terms of my political views, I've been a Democrat all my life. I've worked for 2 Democratic presidents, and those are, that's what my political views are.
And would you consider them your political views progressive?
My political views are generally progressive.
All right, so she's saying, I'm a progressive. Then she's asked by Senator Jeff Sessions, Alabama Republican,